Good afternoon, everyone. Let's start with the new point, that is plasma volume expander. We have already studied about this particular category of drugs in the topic, that is the drugs which are used in treatment of cardiovascular shock. And the example of drug that we have considered that time, it is Dextran. So these drugs, they are particularly useful in treatment of a hypovolemic shock which happens due to the excessive vomiting, diarrhea or hemorrhage that may be accidental. Okay, so these drugs, they expand the plasma volume, as the name suggests. That is, they increase the volume of the blood, and thereby they decrease the symptoms which are associated with that of the hypovolemic shock. Okay, so let's see what these drugs are. So these drugs, they are the colloidal solution which are used to control the blood volume temporarily in critical condition. So the colloidal solutions with smaller particle size and the lower molecular weight, they apply greater oncotic pressure. Okay, so oncotic pressure is the pressure which is exerted, or which is because of the presence of the proteins which are there suspended in that particular solvent. Okay, so this oncotic pressure is because of proteins which are suspended in the solvent. Okay, so next point is the characteristic of the ideal plasma volume expander. They include the oncotic pressure, pH and viscosity of the solution which we are going to use as plasma volume expander. It should be similar to that of actual blood plasma. Okay, so it should be retained in the circulation for a sufficient duration of time. Then it should be non-pyrogenic and non-antigenic. Non-pyrogenic means what? When we give this particular plasma volume expander, it should not cause the pyrexia, as well as it should not generate, or it should not trigger the immune responses. Also, it should be stable and inexpensive. So next characteristic, that it should not inhibit blood grouping and cross matching of the blood. So these are all the ideal characteristic a plasma volume expander should possess. Okay, so examples of plasma expanders include, the first and foremost is Dextran. Then we have hydroxyethyl starches. Then we have polyvinyl pyrrolidone. Then we have oxypolygelatin. Okay, so next is, let's see about Dextran. So Dextran is isolated from the beetroot, where it is formed by the action of contaminating bacterium which is called as Lichtenstock mesenteroids. Okay, so native Dextran, it has a very high molecular weight which is around 40 million Daltons, and from it can be prepared low molecular weight dextrans. Okay, so we have two forms of it, that is Dextran 70 and Dextran 40. So this 70 and 40, it indicates its molecular weight. So 70, it is molecular weight is 70,000, and Dextran 40, it is 40,000 molecular weight. So Dextran 70, it is available as 6% solution, and Dextran 40 as the 10% solution, and it is to be prepared in the isotonic saline or the 5% dextrose. So they are infused in the dose of 10 ml per kilogram of body weight. Okay, so the oncotic pressure of the dextran is similar to that of the plasma protein. So you can see it satisfies that ideal characteristic a plasma expander should have, that is same osmotic oncotic pressure as that of the plasma proteins, and also they persist in plasma with an effective half-life of about 24 hours. So dextrans, they also inhibit Rolex formation. So this Rolex formation, we have already studied about this in the one particular experiment, that is uh, recording or counting of the RBCs by that counting chamber method. Okay, so also they have anti-sludging effect on the blood. They are claimed to improve microcirculation independently of the volume expansion. They may not interfere with typing of the blood, then cross matching of the blood, or RH determination. So you can see all of these properties of this dextran, they match with that of the ideal characteristics. Okay, so however they coat the platelets and the coagulation factor, and they interfere with its function, that is they uh, directly affect the coagulability of the blood. Okay, sorry for that pronunciation. Okay, so in large doses, dextrans they cause widespread hemorrhages. Okay, so that's why there are chances of the hemorrhage also, which is associated with dextran, as they affect the uh, functioning of the platelets as well as the coagulation factor. So dextran 70, it tends to be retained in the body, especially in the liver and the reticuloendothelial system. Dextran 40 is rapidly excreted by the kidneys. As much as 50% is excreted in 24 hours and the remaining in 4 to 7 days. So dextran molecule, they are not excreted, are slowly degraded enzymatically to glucose over a period of weeks. So dextrans are potent antigens, especially when administered subcutaneously in small doses. So, however, administration of massive doses through the IV route, they does not induce antibody formation. So although they don't satisfy the standard, that ideal characteristic of plasma expander, that is they should be non-antigenic. In HC route of administration, they don't satisfy this need or this characteristic, but when they are given through the IV route, they satisfy this particular characteristic, that they act as non-antigenic. Okay, so why this happens? It happens because of the immunological paralysis. So allergic reactions include the fatal shock. They are seen about 10% of the persons, which include those who have never received it in the past. Okay. So next is, they are contraindicated in those who are known to be allergic to them, in patients in heart failure, then in existing or threatened acute oliguric renal failure, and in patients with hypofibrinogenemia or marked thrombocytopenia. So all in these cases, it we should not give the dextran. Okay, so dextran can be easily sterilized by either filtration method or by autoclaving, and they can be stored without any special precautions for up to 10 years, and thus can be stockpiled for emergency uses. Okay, so if you can see this property of the dextran, it is very useful, as its shelf life is around 10 years, and we don't have to maintain any special conditions for it, and without that also we can store it for longer periods of time. So next we have, that is hydroxy ethyl starches. So addition of this hydroxy ethyl groups to the starch molecule, it makes them resistant to the hydrolysis by the enzyme, that is the amylase enzyme, and also it prolongs their intravascular half-life. So one preparation, that is Heta starch, and that is brand name is Expand, molecular weight having 4,50,000 of the hydroxy ethyl starch. It has been extensively tried in treating the shock. Okay, so compared to the dextran, hetastarch, it maintains blood volume longer, then it is non-allergenic, then it does not cause acute renal failure or coagulation disturbances. So in such conditions, we have to prefer this hydroxyethyl starches over the dextran. Okay, so in case of the thrombocytopenia or the hypofibrinogenemia, in those conditions also we have to prefer this particular drug over the dextran. So next is polyvinyl pyrrolidone. So it is a synthetic water soluble hydrophilic polymer of heterogeneous molecular sizes with a molecular weight between the 35,000 to 40,000. Okay, so it is given by intravenous route as a clear amber colored 40% solution in buffered normal saline. So it is rapidly excreted. 50 to 75% of it is recovered from the urine within 48 to 72 hours. So about 10% is excreted in bile. The remainder, that is fraction of molecular weight above 1,20,000, is not metabolized and is stored in the skin, skeletal muscle, as well as in the reticuloendothelial system. So this PVP, it may interfere with the antibody formation, and it can bind to the drugs like penicillin, insulin, and it has a tendency to produce agglutination of the erythrocyte. However, it interferes with blood grouping, so that's why it is now less used as compared to the other drugs. Okay, so the last one is the gelatin polymers. So various gelatin polymers, they have been investigated as the plasma substitutes. So one such polymer of degraded gelatin, it is available commercially, which is called as hemacil, and is a polypeptide with a molecular weight of about 30,000 to 35,000. So it is dissolved in the electrolyte solution with the final pH of infusion around 7.2 to 7.3, which is approximately neutral in nature. Okay, so in this state it can remain stable for 3 years at room temperature. So long shelf life we can see over here. Also when given by the intravenous route, its mean serum half life is 4 to 5 hours. Okay, so approximately 60 to 80% of it is excreted unchanged by the kidneys. The preparation, it exerts osmotic activity which is similar to that of the albumin. So it does not interfere with the coagulation process, then blood grouping and cross matching of the blood, and also it is non-antigenic in nature. So occasionally it may cause flushing, then urticaria. Flushing is like reddening of the skin, then urticaria is skin eruptions, also the bronchospasms, then hypotension can also occur. So it is available as 3.5% gelatin polymer in the 500 ml of the solvent. Okay, so with this we have finished with the topic, that is the plasma volume expanders. And